Now, how you exercise those rights are different ways. You can make your own decisions. You're the one calling the shots. You can get help from other people, you know, what we talked about all morning, but you're the one who says, this is where I'm going to live. This is who I'm going to hang out with. This is when I'm going to decide to apply for a driver's license, that list. Or you can have someone help you make the decision. You can actually make a decision that you're going to give that right to someone else to make for you. So you may decide you want to give the right to contract to your parents. You can sign a formal piece of paper that's called a power of attorney, and the paper says, I, and you put your name in there, give the parent, you put their name in there, the right to make my decisions about contract, the right to make my decisions about health care. And the list, you could do that with anything that's on that list. Well, mostly anything on the list. You can't have somebody else make the decision for you to get married, right? You can't have someone else make the decision for you to vote. But most of those things on that list, you get to do yourself, or you get to decide who else will make for you. And this last category is someone else makes the decision and you really didn't have any choice in it whatsoever. And that's under the criminal court situation. Well, you do have a choice in the criminal court situation. Don't commit the crime. But if you did commit the crime, a judge could take away those rights. That's criminal court. There's also something called civil court. And you don't have to do anything wrong to be in civil court. Sandy was mentioning it earlier. You could just be living your life and someone else thinks that you need help making your decision and you can't make it on your own. Then the person could go to a judge in a civil court and say, I think this individual needs a guardian to make their decisions for them. I don't think they can safely make their decisions on their own. And in Florida, the guardianship court lets you say your piece. You get to say you can say, I don't agree with that. And you can bring witnesses to say that you don't agree with it, and you can show examples of why you can make your own decisions. You can fight back. You can be a self-advocate. But in the end, if you're in a process like guardianship in a civil court, it's the judge who makes the decision about whether you get to make the decisions about that right or not. So all the list of rights that Sandy went over, all those lists, you can make your own decision, and if no one does anything at all, that's what happens. You're in control of making those decisions. Or you can decide, I'm going to give authority to somebody else to make those decisions, or a judge can remove those rights from you and give them to somebody else to make. Now there are a list of, if you look in your book on page 22, no, not 22, on page 20, on page 24. And can I get a volunteer to read a list for me? Okay, page 24, if you would read number 1. You see that list where it says number 1? Represented by an attorney. So that is a right that you have, whether the judge takes away all your rights, you give your rights to somebody else, or you make your own. You always have the right to be represented by an attorney. Anybody want to read number 2? I'll read it. To have access to a court. Number 3 is to receive a proper education. And from what I heard about what's going on in Santa Rosa, you all are getting an excellent education. So you have a right to receive a proper education. Number 4, anybody want to read that? Yes. And you just heard about that from Amelia, right? You have a right to be free from that. Number 5, yes, you in the blue shirt.
To remain independent as possible.
Yes, that's your right. Nobody can take that away. Judge can't even take that away. Number 6, yes.
To receive necessary services and rehabilitation.
That's a right that can't be taken away. And number 7, to be treated, you want to go ahead?
To be treated humanely with dignity and respect.
I want you to remember that no matter how you make your decisions, these are rights that can't be taken away. Any questions about that? All right, then we'll hear from Amelia.